Hello and thanks for tuning in. As always, this is Reverend JR. This is a story I wrote for a prompt on a website one time. I don't have the prompt anymore, but I still have the story. I don't do this sort of thing very often, but if you enjoy it, maybe I'll spin some more tales of fancy in the future. The old man knew more than just the stories of the lake, though. Long ago in the days of his youth, he lived those stories. He was the scribe, etching his memories of the cavern at the bottom, hoping one day to return. "Tonight, lad, we take a trip to the bottom of the lake," the old man said. "Surely you jest," he responded. "There can be no truth in those legends." "Are ye frightened of what's at the bottom?" The old man had a twinge of nostalgia in his eye. "Well, that's probably for the best." Hesitantly, the young man grabbed his gear, looking incredulously at the elder. "I think you're mad, but at least I'm getting paid for this." With that, he dove into the water, attached to a rope by which he planned return. The old man prepared to wait to help the young man should he be successful. The old man settled in, resting his tired body, preparing to finish this chapter of the story. Weighted down by his kit, the young boy descended the darkness. After what felt like an eternity, searching and nearly passing out from the lack of oxygen, the entrance surprised him. A small cavern underwater, just as the old stories told. Softly glowing, the cave gave off an ethereal blue light. In the dim illumination, he could make out a small passage, perhaps 30 meters away. The light was oddly familiar to him, and he soon realized why. A lichen grew along the edges of the cave, much as grew in the woods near his home. Setting off toward the path slowly and stealthily, he didn't expect the cave to be there. As he didn't believe in the old stories, the eerie glow played with his vision, and he thought more than once that he heard noises. Silly that must be, he thought, and put it aside. No beasts had been here in a long time, he reckoned, regardless of what the old man and his stories might say. Still, he was hoping the old man was right about that treasure down here. Moving further down the path, he came upon another opening. This was a bit higher, but not nearly so long as the first. At the end, two paths diverged. Randomly, he chose to stick to the path to the right. It was not a straight path, taking abrupt turns full of curves, raising and falling. After what seemed like hours, but was really probably only 10 minutes, he came upon a small chamber. The blue light glinted off of a small pile of what appeared to be rocks and sticks. Had this pile really been here as long as the old man said? Looking around further, he discovered several chests. Picking a chest at random, he discovered it was locked. Quickly, he grabbed a small set of pins and started to pick it. After a few minutes, the tumblers aligned and the chest opened. The young man had to catch his breath. He'd never seen bars of solid gold before. Suddenly, he was thinking of all the things he could do with this kind of wealth. He proceeded to open the next chest and the next, finding all manner of valuable things. He was excited more than he could have imagined. Never again would he have to worry about his bills or providing for his family. "I've always wanted a nice house in the country," he thought. "Now I can afford it, maybe even a horse or two." And that's when he remembered he was in a cave underwater. "How will I get out of this? How will I get out of here?" He was talking these thoughts aloud. But he supposed it didn't matter. For now, he took a gold bar, stuffing it in his kit. It was heavier than he expected, so he took only one. "This will be more than enough for a long time," he said, "and I can come back for more when I can carry more." With this, he started his return. A bit more quickly, he made his way back to the end of his path, to the place where the three paths met. He stopped momentarily, contemplating what must be down that other path. The old story popped back into his mind, of a beast living somewhere in this chamber. As the young lad was strong, and not a stranger to combat, he decided it was a good idea to see if the last fact was true. Slowly, he made his way down the other path. This path was mostly straight, so he quickly arrived at the end of it. Oddly, there was no chamber here, but a simple dead end. Slightly disappointed, slightly relieved, he returned the way he came, passing the small room that joined the three paths. Making his way back along the original passage, he stopped a short bit at the foyer. A bit of blue glinted off something wet, blocking his path forward. It moved quickly toward the young boy, knocking him to the floor. The fellow attempted to draw his sword, but the beast was too quick. With a swift motion, the beast drove his claw into the boy's heart. The old man awoke early the next morning. He pulled up the rope, which now had the kit attached to it. Reaching into the kit, the old man removed a small pouch of coins. He counted aloud, 8, 9, 10. He marked this in his journal, pocketing the coin and ending this chapter. Slowly, he heads back to town to tell the old legend again. Without fail, the old story always provides another chapter for his story, another treat for his beast. Entering the tavern, he starts his tale anew, offering gold coins and kits to the young man who will take on his challenge and help him finish his story. Again, I want to thank all of you for tuning in. This is just the kind of thing I thought I'd try off the cuff and have a little fun with. If you enjoyed that, click the thumbs up. If not, click the thumbs down. Share it, subscribe, comment, you know what to do. And as always, this has been Reverend JR, signing off.